The polls are open for today's Florida primary. So if you're not among the 2 million or so Floridians who voted early or by mail, today is your day. But turnout's not expected to exceed 25%. However, it could be consequential for several candidates. One of the races to look at, the U.S. Senate race with Rick Scott looking to be renominated as the Republican senator as a Republican. Debbie Murkisell-Powell, the favorite on the Democratic side. And for the first time ever, Florida Democrats fielding a candidate for all 120 House seats and 40 Senate seats. However, Republicans are expected to maintain a stronghold on power in Tallahassee. They have a supermajority on both chambers right now.
This setup where we do the presidential primary in the spring, and then we do the primary for everything else here in late August. The hell is that?
Yeah, I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense.
Seems so stupid. Just put it all together in one primary election. I mean, what are you having people go to the polls for? That was just really the Republican primary back. When was that? I don't even remember when that was.
Yeah, like March or the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you have a Senate race that's really competitive, why is it only a 3-month race all of a sudden? Because, you have the actual nomination in August, and then they just have a couple of months to put together the whole campaign for the election in November.
Actually, you know what? I like that. Can we do that for all?
I was just thinking, okay, less
elections?
time for them to robo-call us, robo-text us, and to send us junk mail.
Yeah, I like
but
this.
then you may not know much about them, which may be the idea. Now, one of the things that does happen in this particular election is nonpartisan races are usually decided today. So if there are cases like school board members, county commission seats, or other city council seats that are nonpartisan, those are generally decided today because you don't have a primary.
Right.
Nobody has a party. So those are important if you're paying attention. But again, it's the middle of August. Who's going to be going to these polls? That's the problem.
The people who are really, really engaged, and that's about it. And those school board races are key. That really is, I think, the biggest thing to watch for because, look, Rick Scott's going to get the nomination. Debbie Murkisell-Powell's going to get the nomination. No surprises there. But I think these school board races, DeSantis has put a lot of time and energy into them, and he has reshaped some school boards across the state. But there's also a bit of pushback now to all of that. So Democrats are a little more engaged. Because the fact of the matter is there are no nonpartisan races anymore. Everything's partisan. So that will be interesting to see tomorrow how some of those races turn out.
Yeah, I think the argument for nonpartisan is it forces people to maybe look into the candidates a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you just see an R or a D next to a name, a lot of times people just vote party lines and don't really look at who the people are. But you're right. I don't think there's anybody getting funding without having party support somewhere along the way. So day 2 of the Democratic National Convention gets underway in Chicago as President Biden last night. Of course, you were awake for the whole thing, Ryan.
Well, technically today.
Yeah, that's right. Technically this morning, passed the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris. And look, can I just say, can we stop saying that she made a surprise appearance on stage? Everybody knew she was going to be there.
We had no idea, Chris. Watching it in real time, we're like, oh my God, there she is. She's on stage.
Yeah, CNN and all these, cable networks are like, and Kamala Harris made a surprise appearance on stage with, Joe Biden. I'm like, what the heck else was she doing?
Right.
Sitting in the hotel. Would they pull her from her expedition to Antarctica and they had to get her back here real quick for the convention? I mean, everybody knew she was going to be there. And she sat there the whole time for the speech. And they cut to her shots over and over again.
So awkward.
That was hardly a surprise.
Let's play a quick 60-second recap. If you missed any of what unfolded over the course of, I think it ran for 10 hours. We've condensed it to 60 seconds. Listen to this.
And I'm here to do my black job.
This is Project 2025.
You're damn right it is.
Donald Trump would sell this country for $1.
We can tell Donald Trump, night, night. In the words of the great American poet, Nellie, it's getting hot in here.
First person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
J.D. Vance, they tried to kill your predecessor.
Will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision?
Come on, give it up for Vice. Give it up.
Joe, thank you for your historic leadership. Joe Biden is the OG girl dad.
America, I gave my best to you.
They all chanted, "We love Joe," including Nancy Pelosi. It was quite a moment watching her, as she was definitely working behind the scenes to get him off the top of the ticket.
They've been friends for 50 years. It's business.
How friendly they are now.
Yeah, he said after that he hasn't talked to her.
Right. So, a couple things. I thought the night was building some momentum when we went from Steve Kerr, the coach of the Golden State Warriors. He was coach of Team USA.
Played for the Bulls.
Former player for the Chicago Bulls in the United Center. I thought there was some momentum that was being built from him to AOC to Hillary Clinton. She got a huge ovation, which I was honestly a little surprised about. And then the convention lost its way. It got real discombobulated. You had Jamie Raskin, who took the stage, congressman. His speech, just the vibes didn't add up. Like, in one sense, he was doing this like serious speech about January 6th and democracy and all of that. And in another breath, he's making jokes. And then you had Jasmine Crockett come out, and she went on for a while. And that was when I'm starting to look and say, oh my God, we've got Raphael Warnock, we've got Chris Coons, we've got Jill Biden,
getting to bed.
We've got Ashley Biden, we've got President. I mean, this is going to go on all night, and you could start to get the sense that this was going to run really long, and it ran so long that the networks, they tune in, the broadcast networks, at 10 o'clock, and they're supposed to cover it from 10 to 11. Now they stayed with it. But you didn't have Biden take the stage, President Biden, until 11:26. It was supposed to be his night, and they pushed him so late. A lot of people on the East Coast didn't stay up to watch it. Now, they'll see clips and everything, but I wonder how that's playing in Biden world. The fact that they ran that late, and you could have taken a couple of those speakers out. I mean,
Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, and Jamie Raskin. There was no need. Raphael Warnock, he was fine. Chris Coons, meh. He was trying to get a "We Love Joe" chant going, and
didn't work.
Nah, I don't think Chris Coons has ever gotten a chant going in his life.
Let's see if this hurts the convention, because believe it or not, night one is actually a big night for the convention, because people are tuning in for the curiosity factor, and they always try and put some big names in there on day one. And of course, it was the president in this case.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was on so late, a lot of people didn't get to see that. So is that going to hurt the tune-in factor for Tuesday and Wednesday? Things always pick up on Thursday when the actual nominee accepts the nomination. But, a lot of people were, I'm sure, watching this like, are we ever going to get to the featured event here?
Let me tell you what, tonight, the only thing that should be featured between 10 and 11, aside from maybe some pre-produced videos, should be Michelle Obama and Barack Obama.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all anybody wants to see.
And make sure you get them from 10 to 11 during prime time. I mean, time to run on time tonight and not go into all hours of the night with
and they even cut
the
stuff.
convention.
Yeah, they still went over.
They cut James Taylor and Debbie Wasserman.
They don't have a friend anymore.
No, you're right.